So today we are going to talk about all 50 United States. I think you're going to really find this interesting, so stick around for that. Passing distance. Now obviously this means if you're on a bicycle, how close are other vehicles, mostly cars, are going to be able to go around you? What's the distance there? There is a 3-foot law in most of the states here. We can see kind of the powder blue, the light blue. Now there are a lot of states that have the red coloring, which is no law at all. What happens in these states is we actually default to the general passing law. So there's no specific mention of bicycles, but there is also always a general passing law. So that's what applies, and most of them say something like you have to pass at a safe distance. Now you'll notice I also have orange states that say safe distance. What that means is, in addition to the general passing law, there's an additional law that says you have to pass a bicycle at a safe distance. So it specifically mentions bicycle. The only one that's in the purple category, which is in between, is actually North Carolina. It's a very interesting situation where they don't mention bicycles in their general passing law, which is actually 2 feet. So you have to pass other vehicles at 2 feet. However, they say in a no passing zone, for a bicycle, you have to pass at 4 feet. There's a weird clause in the Alabama law that I want to cover here. So in Alabama, they have the 3-foot law, but it only applies when a cyclist is within 2 feet of the right shoulder. So that's interesting. So I guess they mean where that line, that white line is that delineates the shoulder. If they're within 2 feet of that line, then I guess you have to pass within 3 feet. I guess what they're saying is if you're further away from that line, then you don't have to pass at 3 feet. So in Maine, there's, they use some Latin here. So in English, what this is saying is when you have a collision in Maine with a bicycle, they're automatically going to say that you disobeyed the safe passing law. In New Hampshire, there's a 3-foot law plus an extra foot for every 10 miles per hour after 30 miles per hour, which is great. So in other words, if you're going 40 miles an hour, then you have to allow 4 feet of passing. If you go 50 miles an hour, you have to allow 5 feet of passing. So Oregon, you must pass on the left at a safe distance, which is why I made it orange. But that's defined as enough to avoid contact if a bicyclist fell into the driver's lane, which is actually really good because sometimes I see drivers that are kind of right behind you or they kind of pass and there's potholes and things you have to avoid. So if you fall and a car is too close, you're actually toast. So even if it's 3 feet. So I actually like that.